All right, here we go. This is the matchup, right? The one we've all been waiting for. You've got the Toronto Blue Jays, these scrappy underdogs, going up against the Los Angeles Dodgers, a total powerhouse. And it's all on the line in the World Series. I mean, the stakes, they just don't get any higher than this.
So you look at the Dodgers on paper, and they seem, well, unbeatable. So the big question is, how in the world can Toronto actually pull this off? And let me tell you, it's not going to be about luck. No way. It's about a very specific, very calculated plan, and that's exactly what we're going to do here. We're going to break down that formula step by step.
See, the Blue Jays front office, their coaching staff, they've basically cooked up this blueprint, and it's a really smart strategy. It's all about maximizing every single one of their strengths to, cover up for some pretty big weaknesses. It's like a high-wire act, really. Every single piece has to fall perfectly into place for this to work.
Okay, so the first pillar of this whole blueprint, it's something you might totally miss if you're just looking at the basic box score. We're talking about their defense. Yeah, on the surface, they might look kind of average. But trust me, underneath all that, they are an absolute run prevention machine. Just look at this number, plus 38.7. So what is that? Well, that's their team's defensive value. It's a fancy stat that basically measures how many runs a team saves compared to an average team. And that number, it doesn't just put them near the top, it makes them the #1 defensive team in all of baseball. This, right here, is their secret weapon.
And this is where it gets really interesting. Let's break down where that value comes from. Their strength right up the middle of the field is just unbelievable. Catcher, second base, center field, they're all #1 in the league in defensive runs saved. But, and this is a huge but, look at the trade-off. Shortstop and right field, they are way, way down at the bottom of the league. So you've got this wild mix of incredible strengths and some really glaring weaknesses.
And that big weakness at shortstop, it leads directly to probably the biggest tactical decision of the entire series. We're talking about the Bo Bichette dilemma. He's an absolute star with the bat, no question. But defensively, especially with some lingering knee issues, he struggled. So, what do? Right? Do you keep him at short and hope for the best? Or do you make the bold move and slide him over to second base? Moving him protects his knee, sure, but it also lets the incredible glove of Andrés Giménez take over at short. That could solidify the whole infield.
Which brings us perfectly to the second pillar of their blueprint. Their roster is just so versatile. And I don't just mean they have a bunch of good players. Think of it more like a collection of chess pieces that the manager can move all over the board to create the perfect matchup at the perfect time. When you look at their 26-man roster, you can see it's built specifically for this kind of flexibility. I mean, it's a pretty standard split, right? 13 pitchers, 13 position players. But the key is that within that group, they have guys who can play multiple positions and play them well. That's what allows them to make those critical adjustments in the middle of a game.
And here is a perfect example of that flexibility in action. It all starts with one guy, Ernie Clement. He gets absolutely red hot at the plate. His WRC plus in the postseason is a ridiculous 195, which basically means he's been nearly twice as good as a league average hitter. You just can't take that bat out of the lineup. So, to keep him at third base, it sets off this incredible domino effect. Barger moves from third to right field, Giménez slides over from second to cover shortstop, and Bichette moves to the less demanding second base spot. Just like that, they've completely reorganized their infield to jam all their best bats into the lineup without really hurting the defense. It's just brilliant.
Okay, but for all the smart moves with the defense and the lineup, there is one massive question mark, their biggest vulnerability, the one thing that could derail this entire blueprint, and that is their pitching.
So here's the core of the problem. You look at their 4 starters for the World Series. You've got Yesavage, Gausman, Bieber, Scherzer. You see what they all have in common? Every single one of them is a right-handed pitcher.
And why is that such a big deal? Well, because this is who they're up against. We're talking about Shohei Ohtani, Freddie Freeman, Max Muncy, some of the most feared left-handed hitters in the entire game. This matchup gives the Dodgers a huge strategic advantage right out of the gate. If those Jays starters aren't hitting their spots perfectly, it could get ugly fast. This is really the central conflict of the whole series.
And if the starters get into trouble early, things don't get any easier. The bullpen, man, it's been their Achilles heel all season. They've got talented arms, for sure, but they've been so inconsistent. They walk guys, they give up home runs, and always at the absolute worst moments.
But there is a path through the fire here. Despite all that volatility, some key guys in that bullpen have absolutely elite bat-missing stuff. I mean, look at these strikeout rates in the postseason. Hoffman, Fluharty, Fisher, these guys can come in and just dominate hitters in the biggest moments. That's their lifeline. They don't need the whole bullpen to be perfect for 9 innings. They just need these specific guys to be lights out when it matters most.
So let's put it all together now. We've talked about the incredible defense, the super flexible lineup, and this high-risk, high-reward pitching staff. How does all of that come together to form an actual, concrete path to winning a championship?
Well, it really boils down to this simple 3-step formula. Step 1, the starters have to go deep into games. We're talking 5-6 strong innings to protect that volatile bullpen. Step 2, the offense needs to build a lead, and not just a small one. They need a buffer. And step 3, late in the game, they bring in their best defensive players, guys like Miles Straw, to lock it all down and make 0 mistakes. It's a tough formula for sure, but it's a clear one.
So, there you have it. The Blue Jays have this brilliant, calculated blueprint for victory. They know exactly what they need to do to win. The only question left is, when the pressure is on and the chaos of the World Series, is that blueprint going to be enough to actually take down a giant?